Happy end of April. This may be the most pathetic monthly report I'm about to deliver to you, but let's go ahead and get into it. What I watched in April. I don't really know what happened. I guess work and life are too crazy. But I watched very few first time watches this month. I'm gonna start off with the tail end of March because I did tack on a couple extra. I watched Puppet Master 2 from 1990 because I know there are so many Puppet Master movies and I eventually want to get through all of them. So number 2 was pretty good. I liked the premise and the setup and the setting and the characters, and it just looked really good. It had this really nice, attractive 80s cast with 80s wardrobe and all that. It was just visually looks really good. Great to see the puppets again. The Puppet Master himself was a total bore, and that was my biggest complaint about that movie. But what did I give it? I gave it a C+. And after that, I don't know why I've been on this full moon trash kick lately, but I'm trying to see all iterations of Baby Oopsie. So I reached for Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys. And this is a 2004 movie. And I may have said this on here before, but the 2000s are just not cute for this kind of thing. I think I said in this review that I don't even think there was a demand for something like this at all during this time, because the 2000s were very serious when it came to horror. And then the humor, the comedy of the 2000s was very crass and immature. So Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys definitely leaned much more towards the comedy, and the horror really just wasn't there. In the comedy, let me just put it like this. Baby Oopsie launched herself into the air with her farts more than once in this movie. The film has Corey Feldman in it. He definitely carries the film, for sure, but he plays a very interesting guy. The girl who plays his daughter is also great, but beyond that, we have some very questionable casting choices, but the film is quite fun to laugh at, and it is nice to see the puppets and the toys and all that. Even though the toys didn't look scary at all, but again, this is the 2000s, a tricky time for horror, especially for cheesy horror, intentionally cheesy horror, that is. Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys, I will probably end up watching again when I'm in the mood for something stupid. But I gave it a D+. Now we move on into the actual month of April. And this month was filled with rewatches. I just couldn't, I was too busy to watch movies at home and too busy to watch movies at work. And when I did have free time, it's quite beautiful outside, so I have been outside. So it wasn't always because of negative reasons that I didn't watch a lot of new stuff. Some of it was happy reasons like sunshine. But in an effort to give this video a little more substance, maybe I'll elaborate a little more on my rewatches and what I thought of them this time around. Obviously, Baby Oopsie 1, 2, and 3 need no explanation. I probably shouldn't even mention I'm watching it at this point because it's making me look crazy. I rewatched Death Walks at Midnight from 1972. Just because it's a favorite. I think I put it on on a Saturday while I was cleaning the house or something, and you just can't go wrong. A very funny, sunshiny, and cheerful Italian Giallo. Next, I put on Delirium Photo of Gioia from 1987 because this is one of my top favorite Gialli, and it is one that I find myself wanting to reach for over and over. There's just a lot to like about it. I love the lead actor, I love her house and the whole fashion thing, and yeah, just the luxury, but I also really like the cast and the music, and always a good watch for sure. Next, I rewatched We Are Still Here from 2015 because I bought it on DVD. And I remember it just, in my mind, I remembered it being so good. And now that I've watched it a second time, I mean, it's very, very good. I don't want to say this as an insult. It's very good, like, in a film festival kind of way. It's definitely, I think, missing something, like missing some layers to it. But what it lacks in depth and context, I think it really makes up for it in the atmosphere and the spooky moments of this film. It's definitely truly terrifying at some points, and I'll probably give it a full review at some point. Next, I watched Obsession: A Taste for Fear with the intent of doing a review, which I did. This is also a really great film, but it desperately needs a restoration, a high quality release, whatever you want to call it. It needs to be seen in a better way. But it's definitely unique, definitely memorable. Not for everybody, but it's just a really fun, surreal 80s sci-fi pseudo Giallo. Next, I rewatched Intruder from 1989, an American slasher. And in my mind, I was like, I remembered this movie as just being so good. And I was kind of craving that nice grocery store after hours setting. So I popped it on. And sadly, on a rewatch, I didn't like it as much. Okay, I love the setting. I love this idea of a grocery store after closing. I want to see more movies set in stores after closing. And the film did have some very clever camera work. It was fun and inventive, but that's about all it had going for it in my opinion. I did not enjoy the cast. The characters are all interchangeable and unmemorable mostly, and the pace was just so slow. It was so slow. I'm fine with the slow burn, but I was just getting real tired. So I bumped that down to a C-, which is probably generous, honestly. My husband was like, I give it 1 star. Next, I don't really know why, but I watched Baby Oopsie again. Okay, moving on. Oh, and then I rewatched Five Girls from 2006. Just one of my classic comfort movies. I need to do a full review on Five Girls as well, but I love all-girl schools. I love, like, the schoolgirl. Not to sound dirty. I love schoolgirls. I love the isolation that can come with a boarding school situation. So this is about Catholic schoolgirls and demons, basically. Okay, there's demons involved. It's very, very good. Next, I watched Demonic Toys from 1992. I think about the music of Demonic Toys, and then it makes me want to watch the movie. I don't know what that's about, but the music just like lures you in. Then I rewatched Death Steps in the Dark from 1977. This is a Giallo, and it's not one that I like figured I'd be watching it. Well, yeah, it is one I figured I'd be watching again because it has one of the best characters in a Giallo ever. This was a funny Giallo, and I rewatched it in preparation for a video I'm going to be making in the future. And I think I even liked this one better the second time around. It's one of those Jolly that's like not one of the top tier ones, but it definitely is still a great time and checks all the boxes, and there's a lot to appreciate about it, especially if you enjoy some of the more obscure gems of the genre. And finally, last night on our Giallo Discord, which you should join if you haven't, we have a Giallo Discord. It's kind of like a group chat where we just talk about Italian cinema all the time. Anyway, we have regular watch parties thanks to the efforts of some of the group members. So last night we watched Bianchi's Burial Ground from 1981. This is a zombie movie, and it's just fun. It was just fun. It wasn't like groundbreaking or particularly deep or anything, but it was just a blast of a time and definitely fun to watch in a group. And I was telling Zach, my husband, that it would be a good one just to throw on Halloween for the atmosphere, for the zombies and all that. It's definitely atmospheric. I can't think of a better word. but also fun because it's a little clumsy, you know. Also, I did want to mention, I don't think I mentioned it in the last video, but I have been watching a show, which I don't normally, well, I do watch shows, but I watch like the same shows over and over and over that aren't really worth mentioning, like Family Guy, American Dad, and Arthur, and Degrassi. But lately I've just been, I don't know, I've been feeling like ghosts and demons. So I put on a ghost hunting show. Back when Ghost Brothers came out, I freaking loved it. And Ghost Brothers is now on Tubi, so I've just been binging Ghost Brothers. Oh, and it is still so good. The thing about ghost shows is like, they're not really that rewatchable unless it's been several years and you don't remember what happened the first time you watched it. But I'm at that several years mark, so I've been binging Ghost Brothers and it's just been so fun. I wish I had friends to go ghost hunting with. Hit me up if you want to go. Okay, and that's April. Not very productive, I'm sorry. I want to get back into like watching a Giallo, a disturbing movie, a Hammer film, a new film, and maybe like another random recommendation, and then maybe like a Lifetime movie, and just make sure I am getting a well balanced intake. Am I the only one that didn't get much done this month? Y'all let me know. Let me know what you watched. And hopefully I'll have a better report for you next time. Ciao! Oh yeah, I forgot to show you my makeup. It is inspired by The Slave from 1969, aka Check to the Queen. I think it came out kind of cool, right?